The Washington Times calls it a must-read book, a muscular defense of the Christian faith, an arsenal of powerful rebuttals against Christian bashers. Amazon Books calls it a #1 bestseller. I call it blessed and used by the Lord. Considering the times in which we now live, you need this book. Available at Amazon.com and the WND Superstore. Perhaps you will remember the much-hyped initial study in December of 2010 with lead researcher Felisa Wolf-Simon, then a fellow in NASA's astrobiology program, to announce that a new form of life had been scooped from a California lake. The bacterium in arsenic-rich Mono Lake was said to, quote, redefine the building blocks of life by surviving and growing, by swapping phosphorus for arsenic in its DNA and cell structure membranes. Arsenic, of course, is similar to phosphorus, but it is typically poisonous to living organisms. NASA's evolution-leaning scientists have since conducted numerous probes at eastern California's Mono Lake, an unusually salty body of water with high arsenic and mineral levels, as it is thought to likely reflect conditions under which early life, quote, evolved on Earth, or perhaps on Mars. However, 2 new scientific papers have disproved this controversial claim made by the NASA-funded scientist in 2010 that a new form of life had been discovered that could thrive on arsenic. In a statement published by the U.S. journal Science, a prestigious peer-reviewed magazine, you find the following quote, contrary to an original report, the new research clearly shows that the bacterium GFAJ-1 cannot substitute arsenic for phosphorus to survive. The report went on to say, quote, I don't know whether the authors are just bad scientists or whether they're unscrupulously pushing NASA's, quote, there's life in outer space agenda. This is what one of the microbiologists studying the initial finding reported. The scientists who wrote the dissenting papers work for the Institute of Microbiology at Zurich. They work for Princeton University, the University of British Columbia, and the Howard Hughes Medical Institute. So the question is, were the initial scientists that worked for NASA using government-funded money to push an evolutionist agenda, were they, quote, just bad scientists or unscrupulously pushing a NASA-driven evolution agenda? My answer? Yes, they are both. Much of evolution postulation is bad science, and it is unscrupulous. But are you surprised by any of this? Get your copy of my Amazon #1 bestseller in Science and Religion, The Magic Man in the Sky, Effectively Defending the Christian Faith. Considering the world in which we now live, you need this book. Get your copy today. Amazon.com or the WND Superstore.